few days ago, I uploaded a short video, and in that video, I talked about a special Demon Slayer one-shot manga. That short has already crossed over 5 lakh views, and in the comments, almost everyone had some question about it. So first, let me quickly explain what that video was actually about. In that video, I explained about a one-shot manga written by the author of Demon Slayer. It had only one single chapter, where demons from hell give interviews and share how it felt when they were killed by different breathing styles. In my short, I mainly highlighted the part that I personally found the most interesting. But since it was just a short video, I couldn't cover every breathing style in detail. That's why I thought, why not make a proper, dedicated video explaining everything? And one question was asked repeatedly. Why was Akaza shown in the flame breathing section when he wasn't even killed by flame breathing? So in today's video, let's clear up all of those doubts one by one.
Alright, before we get into the main discussion, let's take a moment to properly break down this manga so everyone's on the same page. The manga is titled Interview with the Demons from Hell, Voices from Beyond the Sanzu River. In this unique story, we follow Goto, a side character from the main series, one of the Kakushi, who's doing something quite unexpected. He's shown interviewing demons who have already been slain, and it all takes place by the Sanzu River, the symbolic boundary between life and death. Now, here's where it gets really interesting. Goto asks these demons a very specific and unusual question. What did it feel like to be killed by a certain breathing style? Each section of the manga focuses on a different style, and the demons share their personal experiences of what it was like in their final moments. Let's start with the water breathing section. The demons who were defeated by water breathing techniques describe their deaths as surprisingly calm. Some say it felt gentle, almost like being swept away by a quiet wave. Others admit that while there was pain, it was tolerable, nothing too excruciating. A few demons even say they didn't feel any resentment toward the slayer who killed them because the end came swiftly. It was over before I even realized what happened, one of them says. There's a sense of acceptance in their voices, even a strange kind of peace. It really reflects the graceful and fluid nature of water breathing itself, precise, clean, and efficient. But then we move on to the wind breathing section, and the tone changes dramatically. Here, the demons' testimonies are much darker. The ones who fell to wind breathing techniques describe their deaths as brutal and unforgiving. It was intense, one demon says. Every strike felt like pure rage. Another demon goes as far as to say that I could clearly feel how much that slayer hated me. They talk about how vicious the attacks were, how each slash felt personal, like the slayer wasn't just trying to kill them, but to make them suffer. There was no mercy, one demon adds, only fury. It's a stark contrast from the water breathing section, where one style was calm and composed, the other is raw, aggressive, and emotionally charged. And in a way, this mirrors the slayers who use these techniques. Water breathing users often carry a sense of inner peace and discipline. Meanwhile, wind breathing, especially in the hands of someone like Sanemi, is wild, explosive, and fueled by deeply rooted rage. Then we move on to the demons who were killed by flower breathing. Many of them had something strangely peaceful to say. Some claimed the slayer felt like a celestial maiden, gentle, graceful, and otherworldly. They said her presence was soft, her movements elegant, and there was a sweet fragrance around her. A few demons even said she spoke kindly to me before ending it. It didn't feel like death. It felt like going to heaven. After that, we shift to the demons who faced insect breathing. One of them said, she was small. I completely underestimated her. But then came that sharp, accurate thrust attack. It caught them off guard. Some demons described the pain as unbearable, a kind of suffering they had never experienced before. Others said, when she calmly explained how her poison works, I realized I couldn't move. I felt totally helpless. And then we see Doma. With his usual smile, he laughs and says, it's fine. She was beautiful, so I kinda gave her a pass. Doma really is something else. He's built different, truly the real demon among them all. Then we see the stone breathing section, where demons say, I had never seen power like that before. He didn't look human. When he swung his weapon, it wasn't just an attack. It was like the world itself exploded. The chains, the axe, the sound of stone breaking. It shook everything. Another admitted, I was so scared. I pissed my pants. My body froze before his weapon even touched me. And yet he was the one crying, while I was the one dying. Then we see Kokushibo, who says he resembled the benevolent kings. Then we see the flame-breathing section, meaning the demons killed by Rengoku's hands. One demon says that slayer was pretty cool. Some demons say they didn't even feel bad dying against someone like Rengoku. Then we see Hakuji, also known as Akaza. And this part is quite confusing because we know that Akaza was never never killed by flame breathing. Anyway, Akaza says, I feel renewed. It was more like I saw the clear summer blue sky. Here I made my own theory. As we know, Akaza was never actually killed by Tanjiro. He killed himself because his past was triggered and he finally decided to end his life as a demon. So I think he only said that line to show respect to Rengoku because Rengoku was a true warrior, and for Akaza, that was a very true opponent. So maybe that's why in this panel we see Akaza. Although my theory doesn't make much sense, if you guys have some theory related to this, make sure to share it in the comment section. I would really like to read your opinions on it.
Then we see the demon who was killed by serpent breathing said it was painful, and some demons said it felt weird and strange. His sword kept slithering through my body, cutting me, one of them said. And even his words were harsh, added another demon. One demon even said, I wish I'd been killed by flower breathing instead. Then we saw the love breathing section, where demons said, it made my heart flutter all the time. I really got thrilled. Some demons said, I felt like I fell in love with her. I thought I got a little interested in that slayer. Another said, she looked apologetic towards me in the end.
The demons killed by sound breathing said, the slayer cleaved right through me. It was so clean. Some added, for a tough-looking guy, he was surprisingly calm, and his footwork was completely silent. Then we see Gyutaro and Daki, who said, his movements were very detailed, like a true ninja, but still, I hate him. When it came to mist breathing, the demons felt more shame. Some thought it's humiliating to be defeated by a 14-year-old child. Others said, the way he looked at me, it was disgusting, like I was stone covered in vomit. His cold eyes, they almost made me cry.
Now we finally reached the demon who was killed by sun breathing, and that demon is none other than Muzan himself. Muzan describes his death in just one word, very unpleasant. But from his reaction, you can clearly see that even in his last moments, he was still filled with rage towards Tanjiro. And let me tell you, sun breathing is the most dangerous breathing style of all. For Muzan, dying by it must have been an awful feeling, especially because in the past, he barely escaped death at the hands of Yoriichi. After this, we see Goto, who says something like, yeah, I understand, though honestly, all these demons are just complaining, but fine. Suddenly, Goto hears a strange sound. He wakes up and we realize he had actually passed out from his injuries. Everything we just saw was a dream. But honestly, I don't think it was just a dream, because in Japanese belief, the Sanzu River is a place between life and death. So maybe Goto actually had a near-death experience for a short while. Anyway, this is where the manga ends. But after my last video, I saw tons of comments asking why didn't they show demons who were killed by Zensuke's thunder breathing or Inosuke's beast breathing? Well, in this one-shot manga, no demon interview was given for those two styles. Still, if you think about it, Zensuke's thunder breathing is insanely fast. His slashes probably happen so quickly that demons don't even feel much before they die. But as we've already seen, a demon's experience of death actually depends a lot on the personality of the slayer. If the slayer is full of anger or pure raw strength, then dying by their breathing style feels extremely painful. But when the slayer has a calm soul or a pure personality, like Giyu or Tanjiro, the demons often feel peaceful in death. Now, when it comes to Inosuke, I personally think demons must have suffered a lot while dying from his beast breathing, because we all know how wild and chaotic his personality is. That same wildness reflects in his attacks, making his kills way more brutal. So yeah, that's how this manga ends. If you guys have any questions or your own opinions, definitely share them in the comments. And if you enjoyed this breakdown, don't forget to subscribe to the channel, and you can also follow me on Instagram. The link is in the description. That's all for today. See you next time. Bye.